Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a 5-game NBA slate for you. It starts at 6 o'clock. If you don't mind, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? It really helps the channel a lot. With that said, let's get into the injury report today. So for the Nuggets, Murray and Gordon are both questionable. For the Clippers, Zubac is out. For the Trailblazers, Simmons, Nurkic, and Winslow are out. For the Rockets, Porter Jr. and Jalen Green are out. For the Warriors, Draymond Green is questionable, and Curry and Wiggins are out. For the Timberwolves, Towns is out and Prince is questionable. For the Thunder, Shea Alexander, Pokusevski, and Aaron Wiggins are out. And for the Raptors, Van Vliet is questionable. So we have a lot of injuries that we're going to have to pay attention to throughout the day. I have 3 core plays here: Ty Washington, Lou Dort, and Jay Williams. I will talk about them in just a second. For my team picks, I have Cleveland over Toronto, Sacramento over Oklahoma City, Golden State over Minnesota, Portland over Houston, and Denver over the Clippers. So let's go ahead and get into my core plays here. Ty Washington being first. Assuming he starts again, which he did last game, he'll have some interesting opportunity here with the 2 point guard injuries to Houston. I do think that he's required to start to be worth using here, but he has some nice upside. He played really well in the first start, and I think he's going to continue that and play well again. Then we're going to look at Lou Dort for Oklahoma City. He's playing really good, and with Shea Alexander out, he should have even more usage like he's had the last game. And he's got an easier matchup today than he did last time against Phoenix, and he did well. So I expect him to continue to do well. He's actually had double-doubles in 2 straight games. He's a great option on the slate, and he's pretty inexpensive still. Then we're going to look at Jalen Williams for Oklahoma City. This is also, if he starts, he has played extremely well as a starter lately. Ever since I watched him in the Laker game when against the Lakers, I thought he needed to be starting every single game. And for a couple games, they still don't start him, but they have been starting him the last few games, and it seems like it's really paying off. He's just too cheap. He hasn't come up in price because before, when he wasn't starting, he wasn't playing that many minutes. But now he's playing a pretty good amount of minutes, and he's playing pretty well. So I look for him to be a good option on the slate, especially with Shea Alexander out. He'll have more usage as a result. So then we're going to get my other plays. We're going to start with Damian Lillard. Now, he's pretty expensive today, but he has had some time off, and he should be back full throttle in this game. They have some other injuries, too, which are going to give him even more usage as a result. And so I look for him to play a lot in this high-scoring game and shoot a lot of balls like he did last game against Washington, where he shot 30 shots. I think he could have a similar outcome today and have some big-time upside as a result. Then we're going to look at De'Aaron Fox for the Sacramento Kings. Obviously, he's coming off a gigantic game where he had 77 fantasy points. His price is actually about the same still, and he's been really good lately. And so he has a couple floor games, in the mid-30s, but overall he's got some really good upside here. He has 50 fantasy point upside most times out, and this is a nice, faster-paced game. And of course, Shea Alexander's not there to compete either, so he should have some more upside as a result. Then we're going to look at KJ Martin for the Houston Rockets. With a couple guys out for Houston, he's been playing pretty well. I look for him to continue to play well. He's had a couple off games against Oklahoma City, but he's not having to play them today. So he had a great game against Golden State last time out. I expect him to have a similar outcome again with all the guards out for the team, and so I think he's in a great spot. Then we're going to look at Malik Monk. He seems to have certified himself as the scoring off the bench guy for the Kings. He's had some really good games lately. He's had a couple lower scoring games, but for the most part, he's been really consistent. And I really like him in this matchup against Oklahoma City, who really don't have anybody that's going to try to stop him too much. And he should be a good off the bench punch for them. Going forward, he had a gigantic game, obviously, against the Clippers, where he scored 45 points. He's more than capable of that kind of output more often, but he's still been getting in the 15 to 20 point range most days, and when he does that, he's definitely viable on DFS, simply because he's a scoring guard. Then we're going to look at Cam Reddish for Portland, and he's in a very interesting spot today. He's been pretty good here since he's joined Portland. His first 4 games have been really good, and he's still priced pretty fairly. Even though it has come up a little bit, he has a bigger time upside. Obviously, he is a streaky player, so do keep that in mind. but in a plus matchup here against Houston, he's definitely somebody you have to take into consideration. And then I'm going to talk about Isaiah Joe. Now, he's a little bit risky today. He had a really good game last game, but he's been a little bit inconsistent throughout the season as a starter. He really doesn't start much, so we'll have to wait and see if he ends up starting in this game. But if he does, he would definitely be somebody to take in consideration. But I'm still a little bit weary of him, even though his price is pretty cheap. But there's plenty of good plays on the slate, so he's somebody to consider. But he's probably not my favorite option on the slate. With that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And have a nice day, guys.